good evening to all of you. Some of you, Dr. Mott Goldberg has been an inspiration for the organization. Even recently, Dr. Nachir was speaking about you and Dr. Ski Pence in another realm. And Suzanne, who has been closely participating, Christine. Many of you have been part of this 50-year journey. And I'm happy to kickstart this presentation with it celebrates kind of the whatever has happened in the past 50 years. As we all know, every journey has to start with a seed. And this seed came from Dr. V. And Dr. V is the pioneer. Dr. V is the protagonist in this evolution of Aravind. And as the saying goes, every great organization begins as a vision in the minds of its founder, a dream bold enough to inspire others and clear enough to shape reality. And Dr. V's vision, even now, is phenomenal, right? Even now, probably Aravind covers 5% or even less than that if you kind of take the population that Aravind works on. And the potential to do more is immense in the decades to come. And 50 years on, it's still, we are kind of at the tip of the iceberg. That's the kind of vision Dr. V had, and he was prepared probably in his life till that point of time, 1976, to unveil this vision for all of us to be a part of that journey. And this is from Dr. V, and this is probably the construct of Dr. V's vision. The Meenakshi temple was a work of love and faith and vision that spanned a whole succession of rulers and several generations, and it has maintained its integrity. Most of you have been to Madurai. Most of you have seen this temple, and this temple is close to 1,000 years. And these are his words. Temples are not built for individuals or by individuals. They are created for all humanity by a band of skilled and dedicated workers. And the result is living timeless gift to the world. And it can be the same with institutions like Aravind. So he modeled Aravind on something like a 1,000-year-old institution. So 50 is probably just the beginning if you kind of take that vision. Every organization can be looked into in three realms. One is the physical infrastructure, which is the base of everything that is built on it. And in this case, in Aravind, it's the land, buildings, all the assets that goes with that. And then there is an intellectual infrastructure, which is the whole eye care, the human resource, the technology, the research and everything. And there is a third level, which is the emotional infrastructure. So you can get away from the bottom physical and intellectual, but the emotional infrastructure, which probably connects all of us in this call to Aravind, is the culture, the values, the network that has been built. And this presentation is primarily going to share the story of Arvind's journey in the last 50 years through the physical infrastructure paradigm. So the story can be told in multiple different ways, as you all know. But this talk is primarily in the lens that we are going to use is the physical infrastructure journey. And I'm sure you all know my father, Mr. G. Srinivasan, who kind of was the pioneering person in laying the physical infrastructure. He was Dr. V's able commander. Dr. V wanted this vision and had this vision, tremendous vision. And I think people like my father, Dr. Nachar, Dr. Nam, Tulsi, all of them translated that vision into a reality. And the physical infrastructure was translated by my father. The man who built the infrastructure didn't just lay bricks, he laid the future. And for ease of appreciating the journey, I've tried to divide this into 4 phases, not only physical infrastructure, but I think in these 4 phases, distinct characters evolved in the organization. And phase 1 is the first 10 years. The second phase is a little longer, close to about 18 years. Third phase is also about 10 years. And the fourth phase is starting from 2017 till date. All the details, I'll go through this in every slide that I used. So phase 1 is coming into being, the foundation phase. This is I think Suzanne will appreciate this, and Dr. Goldberg would appreciate this. You know, Dr. V talking to, I'm sure, Dr. Goldberg, Suzanne, even before Aravind was founded, even before, after his retirement, Seva coming into existence, and he talking to Seva. So this is kind of a very early stage of Aravind with very little resources. And this was a rented building. You all know the story. And you can see that picture, I'm sure, taken way back in the late 70s. And, Dr. V had this vision. The vision was much larger, though it started in a 11-bed clinic. And this is how it evolved, right? In 1976, there was this rented building. And then there is a new building that was built called Annex Building, additional 30 beds, and also a free hospital with about 75, 80 beds, which was kind of asbestos shed at that point. But even in 1977, with very little resources, you can see Dr. Skipens and Mrs. Skipens in the picture, which is the groundbreaking ceremony of Aravind Eye Hospital, Madurai in 1977. And that's when they start, very early. Even now it amazes me. 1976, you start a very small facility in a rented building. How do you have the courage to build, which is a 5-story, much larger infrastructure? Even today, I think for us to think that realm of, the way of thinking, expansile thinking, is something I think we need to inculcate even more at Aravind, with all the resources and all the networks that Aravind has today. So this is in 1978, the ceremony of boiling milk. In September 1978, you can see Dr. Nachyar and my mother, Mrs. Lalita Srinivasan. And I think that was the time when Chitra and Tulsi got married as well. I think it was September 16th, if I remember right. And the opening ceremony, again, Dr. Skipens was here for the opening ceremony. As you can see, the building was not completed in one go. It was completed part by part as and when the money came in. And then you all walked into this building and have experienced it. And then came THENI. THENI, I've heard that THENI was the kind of model that Dr. V wanted to evolve. The three-tier cities, where smaller cities will have smaller hospitals. And he said he had seen a model in Sitapur he wanted to emulate. And I've heard that they abandoned the plan after THENI because they saw scale is very important. At this stage, in the first 10 years of this journey, Aravind had done about 1 million outpatients and about 77,000 surgeries. So 1985, 10 years, it was about 20,000 surgeries. As you can see, the paying, free, and camp divide. And then comes the phase 2. This is a very vibrant phase in the history of Aravind, scaling up phase. This phase brought in and added elements to Aravind Eye Care, and that made it called, known as Aravind Eye Care Systems. I'll let you know why I say that. Now, apart from the hospitals that came up during that phase, which is Tirunelveli, you can see moving away from THENI, a smaller hospital model, to a larger tertiary care model in Aravind Tirunelveli, Aravind Coimbatore, and Aravind Pondicherry. And also, the reason I say it's a very productive phase, Aravind ventured beyond only eye or delivery of eye care, backward integration into manufacturing. You all know the story of intraocular lens, how we were importing intraocular lens and they were all made in developed countries, and how a few people helped Aravind. David Green's picture is there. Seva played a very important role in this whole journey. So that's how Aurolab came into existence in 1972. They kind of moved into 3 physical structures. Today, their physical structure is very different, but they were started in the hospital. By then, in the 4th floor of the hospital, then they moved to the present LACO building, to the top floor. Then they subsequently moved to the newer facility. That's why I call this a very productive phase, because LACO also came into existence at this phase. I think these 2 elements to Aravind were the globalization aspects of Aravind. Aravind stepping out of Madurai in many ways and reaching out to the world, which is in Aurolab through its products. Today, they are in about 120, 130 countries, and they say about 30 to 40% of all eye surgeries, cataract surgeries, have and Orolab involved in that process. And LACO, again, an organization that came because of Lions, very productive thinking, very creative thinking and connecting the dots which don't seem naturally to be connected. Imagine Chennai, probably Madurai had one flight at that time. To think in Madurai, we will have an international institution which will train people from different parts of the world. But Dr. V was like that. I mean, even in 1981, he had a team from Nepal. The first set of trainees came 2021. I remember that team as a small boy of 12, 13 years. I remember seeing some of them. Some of them are very good musicians. I remember they had good musicians. They would come home and have dinner in the roof, in the terrace, and then they would play music and all. As a small boy, it brings back a lot of memories. So Dr. V was always thinking global, but I think these two, Orolab and LACO, gave wings to that. And a lot of people have contributed. I have heard Susan speak in the video Infinite Vision, how Dr. V visited an institution in San Francisco and said, we need something very similar to that. So he was able to manifest what he aspired. I'm sure Tulsi has led it since then, and he was part of conceiving this project as well. And then Dr. V also laid the first vision center, also came in this phase, Amba Samudram, which is a very, again, a lot of credit goes to him, because Orolab, I think LACO was a collective decision. But this vision center was Dr. V driving it all on his own. He was in Pondicherry. He was so excited about one of the institutions, Swaminathan Institution, doing some kind of work. He was talking about internet like nobody's business. I remember we had a small marriage hall opened in our village, and there were about maybe 75, 80 women, in the village, all elderly women. And Dr. V was addressing them, and he was all talking about internet to them, way back in 2003, 2004. So he was so excited. He saw that this has the capacity to change the world. And he was like childlike excitement. By the time I was the administrator sitting next to his office, even I felt he was, what is wrong with him? And why is he so excited about it? And looking back, he saw something which obviously I didn't see. I was myopic, and he had a far-fetched vision. And then the Vision Center story has grown, and it's more than 120 vision centers now. And by the end of this phase, there were 3 tertiary care eye centers that came: Tirunelveli, Coimbatore, Pondicherry, Orolab, and LACO, and AMRF also came. AMRF came also in 1996. I think AMRF took a little larger role in 2008 with a new facility, but it came into existence way back then. And we also started the first community center in Melur. Again, this was a different concept than Vision Center that also came at that phase. By that, from 1976 to 2004, the institution had seen 17.6 million outpatients, and had performed about 1.7 million surgeries. So you can see the scale kind of growing significantly from the previous phase to the next phase in terms of delivery of eye care. But the reach had become much larger globally thanks to Orolab and LACO. The third phase, which is 2005 to 2016, we should remember Dr. V passed away in 2006. And this is a consolidation phase. A lot happened, but it was also a quiet phase for Aravind. It was not a very, from a scaling up phase, so that productive phase, I think the organization needed some time to breathe and take in all the changes that had transpired. And there was also a leadership transition. I think by this time, Dr. Nam, 2007-8, he stepped back. And 1997, Dr. V stepped back, and Dr. Nam came into being the chairman. And then Dr. Nam said, when he took it up, and he said, I'm going to be leaving or handing this position to the next person on a particular date, July 1st, on this particular year. And that's how Ravi RDR became the chairman. So this was kind of a leadership transition and consolidation phase. And as you can see, post Dr. V passing away, Dr. Rajiv Venkataswamy Eye Research Center, the then President of India, Dr. Abdul Kalam, a good friend of the family came to inaugurate the facility, and now it's a very vibrant facility. Again, as a larger implication and impact, more than us delivering eye care to the population that Aravind serves. And these are different organizations that came into existence. Aravind Tirupur came up in 2010. And Aravind Dindikal, which was an old building, which was a rented building, came up then. Aravind Tuticorin came in 2012. Salem, which was again a building that we bought, which is a smaller building for the Salem size, city size. Now we are building a newer facility, which I'll share with you. And Aravind Udumalpet came in 2012. So all these were secondary centers. These were not the large centers. So from this, what this centers kind of led to the hub and spoke model. The hub being the larger tertiary care, the spokes being the secondary centers. And then we had community center and vision centers, which kind of brought depth into the community to take eye care to the last mile of the population. And the new GV research facility, as you can see, and Aravind Coimbatore City Center came into existence in 2014. And as I said, this is more a consolidation phase. For the scale of Aravind, whatever we had done in the 10 years is more at a pace which was more comfortable. And Aravind had kind of completed about 44 million outpatients and had performed 4.34 million surgeries in that phase. So 2016 kind of culminates 40 years of the journey. So it's kind of that 40th year of the journey. This is what Aravind had done. And 58 vision centers had also been added along with the Pondicherry City Center in this phase. The post 2017, again, Mr. G.S., my father, had already planned many of this because Chennai came into existence at that. The land was procured in 2013, and then the building took about 30 months to complete. In 2017, we inaugurated. Many hospitals came. I'll go through the slides. So Chennai kind of was a new journey. When I say new journey, the infrastructure started changing in Chennai. It was a new design language that was incorporated in Chennai. So till that point of time, it was kind of Pondicherry, till Pondicherry 2003, and even the tertiary secondary care were having reasonably one design language. It's not big shift. Shifts had happened in technology, shifts had happened in the way we do things, but it was more an incremental change, not a paradigm shift. With this Chennai project, there was definitely a paradigm shift. So in the pre-project phase, you can see Dr. RDR, Mr. Nyanraj, my father and me, we went to US. I think you can see Suzanne in San Francisco taking us to different institutions. Stanford had built a new facility at that point of time. We had gone to also Michigan to look at Ford's new Bloomfield facility. We went to Johns Hopkins to look at their Zayed Tower, which had come at that point of time. We met Dr. Goldberg also during that visit. You can see that picture. I'm trying to take a picture of Wilmer Eye Institute there. So we tried to make efforts to change the design language. Is there something that we can do than what we had already built in the past? So the thought process was, how do we ensure access to thoughtfully designed, safe, and well-equipped infrastructure? And Dr. V's vision was also that. And everybody was thinking about how to bring better services, not only in terms of clinical care, but from physical amenities, physical facilities, from patients' perspective, and also caregivers, the doctors, the nurses, all the administrative team. How do we make life better for them? And Aravind has kind of moved from a phase of scarcity, because Aravind, as you all know, the institution was built by saving every penny to be able to do what it did. But by this phase, the 40th phase, Aravind had become a little more abundant in its resources. So it wanted to give its providers, it wanted to give people a better experience, both its patients and the providers. And also, we also realized that it will add to the efficiency. better infrastructure. Obviously, as we all know, it would add into the efficiency, and also to make it safe and eco-friendly was another thought process that came from there. And these are different dimensions that came into the planning phase, patient-centric design, keep safety as a paramount factor, easy accessibility, flexibility, and scalability. So we kind of went into modular way of thinking. Like Chennai, I'll share with you, we built the whole facility, but we built maybe 70% of the space as warm shell. So we could go and build on it whenever the demand picks up. So because we found getting approvals from the government, building buildings was very time consuming and expensive and had a lot of bureaucratic hurdles. So to get all that in one go, but then interior changes can be done in a timely manner, taking into the technology that is available then, and better toilet facilities for patients and staff, utility oriented, focused on efficiency. I'll talk a little bit about it as I speak there. Drinking water facilities, better cafeteria, parking spaces, and also housing and MLOP hostels were also completely redesigned. The housing was much more modern, much more user-friendly. PG, postgraduate hostel, became a little more modern, air-conditioned. All the facilities that the society was also changing. 76 India was about $150, $200 per capita income. And it probably by the time of 2017, it had come to about $2,000 or $2,200 per capita. So there was a 10-time jump in the per capita income, and everything was moving on the upward mobility and better ventilation and security. So this is in 2017. You can see the Chennai facility. So emphasis on natural light, amenities, and aesthetics. So, I wonder, because now I'm involved in construction. My father started this project when he was 82. So he started this project when he was 81 or 82, and he completed when he was 85. So this was a very important project for him at that stage. He also started Tirupati. So as you can see, a better laid out, we picked up a lot of features, a courtyard that can handle people, bring a lot of natural light, a little more, art integrated into the infrastructure. All this was not part of the earlier phase. And more greenery, as you can see, for the patients to wait. And also better cafeteria, you can see to the right, and also the optical outlets which are there in the hospital. So this kind of became the design language for subsequent projects. And the operating theaters had all the features that were required, a laminar flow, HEPA filters, and the return air. So it had all the dimensions, the vinyl flooring, and the aluminum flooring, aluminum roofing, false roofing. All of that met the criteria for all the approvals. So today, all Aravind Eye hospitals has the national accreditation, which is a stringent accreditation for hospitals to function. And they come and certify the hospitals with that. And this is Chennai. So Chennai, by far the largest infrastructure as at that point of time, about 31,000 square foot. To the right, the picture that you see is the housing facility. So this has the nurses hostel and also the apartments. We have 65 apartments, and I stayed there for 5 years. We all stayed there for 5 years, reasonably comfortable places. PG hostel, about 63 rooms, and MLOP hostel has 67. So we can accommodate about 700 young women in this facility. So this is the first time we went for a larger water recycling system. Even Pondicherry was the first center which was more 150 KLD facility, but this was a 300 KLD facility. So it's a larger facility. And we also adopted escalator in this hospital, because we realized people moving up and down, elevators were becoming a bottleneck. So escalators were integrated into the hospital. And today, being part of Chennai, I see how useful it is. Again, the society has gotten used to escalators, and everywhere, in every place they go, in a mall, in a hotel, and everywhere. So people are used to it. And then came Tirupati in 2019. As you can say, I would say the design language is very similar to Chennai. And this is some of the pictures from the same. I think the physical facility changed, but the soul was the same. It had all the elements of Aravind. It had the paying hospital, it had the free hospital, it had the camp section. So the rates had not changed. With Chennai, our consultation fee in Madurai was 50 rupees at that point of time, 2016-17. So when we came to Chennai, we had a discussion and said, oh, we should probably look at to increase that. And we went to 100 rupees, a dollar, maybe a little more than $1.2 is what is the consultation fee. And it has been there since then, 2017, that has been the consultation fee till this point of time. And new projects post 2021, again, my father passed away in 2021, and then but also he had started these projects. When he passed away, he had started Tirunelveli. It was kind of 10% up. Dindigul was close to 50% up, and he had already worked on the plans for Tanjore. Land was procured by him. Salem land was procured by him. The project planning was already done. Approval was not done. And so till that point of time, till Salem, we are only executing projects that has been designed by my father and that era of leadership. So this is the new block. As you know, Tirunelveli has already been an existing hospital. Both Tirunelveli, Coimbatore, and we realized the old buildings were not meeting the standards of approvals that we needed to run a hospital. And also they are very cramped. It affected the morale of the team. It affected patients' safety, patients' well-being. And we also saw a stagnation in the patient volume. So we had to, fortunately, we were able to procure land closer to the existing hospital. We were able to rebuild, and a lot of credit also goes to our architect, Mr. Nyanraj and his team, for integrating the older buildings into the newer buildings and trying to make them look seamless. So Tirunelveli is a 315,000 square foot facility, including a housing facility as well. So this is the this is the facility that you can see. This is a new facility with the ramp on the back, and to the left is the newer facility. And you can see some of the pictures, the newer optical shop, the waiting areas. And also we had upgraded our furniture. Till that point of time, we were trying to make with the furnitures. We were trying to import furnitures. We were trying to get better furniture. And a lot more focus on aesthetics. I think started from Chennai, but the journey is kind of continuing. And the operating theaters, again, more work was done in Tirunelveli. Tirunelveli has 3 floors of operating theaters. One is the receiving floor, where we have patients are received and prepared. And then we have the paying operating theaters, and we have the free operating theaters. And so it was, because the built-up area was like that. We couldn't put all the OTs in one floor. So we had to be creative about it. So there are intermediate elevators, dumb elevators, which can take materials, the post autoclaved goods from one floor to the other, or so that the team members can need not go up and down all the time. And then came Dindigul. Again, as I said, Dindigul was 50% done in 2021. We had to complete the facility, and you can see Dr. Nam in that picture, and Tulsi is also seen in that picture. Sharada has seen, Prajana has seen. So this is a smaller facility, about 70,000 square foot. As I said, this is a secondary care hospital. So when we conceived the secondary care hospital, it was conceived for about 5,000 surgeries, 350 to 400 surgeries a month. But now all of them are pushing, many of them are pushing 1,000 surgeries a month. The depth that these small hospitals can go into that community is definitely far more than the tertiary hospitals do. This hospital belongs to that community. They are able to identify very closely with these hospitals. So the uptake of services is far more in these hospitals. And then Orolab, also went into expansion mode. Again, this was started, I think it was started in 2021, before 2021, but construction completed a little later. This is 100,000 square foot. It's a warehouse and pharma block. And again, the earlier facility had everything packed into that building. Auralab also grew in its reach, and the needs were different. So they built a state-of-the-art warehouse, as you can see from the right. It's a world-class warehouse. People can they say it has shortened their time by about 75-80% and has reduced the need for manpower. And their accuracy is far better than a Six Sigma accuracy, is what I hear from the team. Again, these are the offices. Again, Auralab, the times were changing. Auralab had to attract talent to work there. So the IT companies, the information technology companies, like all over the world, they were giving different kind of workspace to be able to do. So Auralab also had to work on this and make it comfortable. They're a global organization. They're working with so many countries. How do we give them a good place for them to feel the level of work that they do and feel confident and have pride in what they do? And then Coimbatore, again, Coimbatore, as you all know, is 1997, the first building came into existence. And today, Coimbatore cumulatively is as big as Chennai, about 700, little more than 700,000 square feet. So this built up till now, the largest infrastructure we have built post Chennai is Coimbatore, about 445,000 square foot facility. This includes the nurses' hostel, guest house, as well as the hospital. You can see the pictures of the hospital. Again, a very integrated into the older facility. So the renovation work is going on in the existing facility. So hopefully when it's done, Tirunelveli, the integration is complete. The old and new looks exactly the same. They work seamlessly. So Coimbatore, we are yet to complete the renovation in the old building. So hopefully when it's done, it will all work seamlessly. It's very important for us because even the new facility in isolation won't be able to meet the demands of the community. So this is the newer Coimbatore, as you can see, Dr. V's picture in the background, and a better courtyard. All the hospitals are now, we are integrating many courtyards. They function as a breathing space. They function as a cafeteria. They function as a waiting area for the patients. So you can see the meditation room. As you know, all hospitals have a meditation room. So again, in Coimbatore, we went for a modular OT. This is the first time we shifted from brick and mortar operation theaters to modular operation theaters. So modular operation theaters, the entire walls, everything is built through a modular mechanism. They are built from a MI or a steel structure with the soundproof wool. It's much better is what we keep hearing. It's easier to put together. And also it's very competitively priced. Everything is integrated. The plenum, the HEPA filters, and all the ventilation, everything is integrated. And then came Tanjavur. Tanjavur is a recent addition in 2025. Some of you would have seen the pictures. Tanjavur is about close to a 400,000 square foot facility. And these are the puja pictures. You can see Dr. Vijay Lakshmi, you can see Divya and Karthik. Dr. Nacher is there. So this was the puja that was done before the hospital inauguration was done. It was done 2 days ago. It was more a ceremony to bring auspicious energy into the organization. And you can see all the Dr. Ravindran is there, Dr. PN sir is there, Dr. Madam is there, Dr. GN Madam, Tulsi is there, Dr. Vijay Lakshmi is there. So all of them were there for Tanjore. It was a very good get together. We had the whole family was there, and our senior doctors were there. It was a kind of a joyous. We had a dinner the previous evening. Everybody got together, so it was a good get together to celebrate, an organization, the newer organization. So these are pictures of Tanjore, again, a courtyard. This time the courtyard was integrated into the hospital. designed. So the entire registration, optical outlet, medical pharmacy, all of them were under the sunlight. So this is I would say this phase is more an expansion phase. We had expanded, and 3 tertiary hospitals, Chennai, Tirupati, Tanjavur, 1 secondary hospital. Chennai opened a city center in Mylapore, 1 community center in Tirupati. Again, the vision centers, 58 vision centers are opened during this phase of work of Aravind. And some of the new projects like Tirunelveli new block, Coimbatore new building, Salem new building. By this time, 25, where we have reached, Aravind had seen about, till March 2025, 91 million outpatients and 10.82 million. And this number is growing, as we all know, every day as the organization keeps moving forward. And even recently, we got a mail saying that we were reaching about 24,000 patients a day. And in a month, I think cumulatively, we are reaching close to 800,000 consultations a month, both within Aravind and outside partners in the who run the software of Aravind EMR platform. So this is a cumulative number. So Aravind had about close to 30 million square foot of infrastructure, and till 2021, 1976 to 2021. Again, as I said, all that is happening has happened so far has come from the plans that my father had, which we are kind of executing. The newer project is the Madurai project, which I'll speak about it, which is something which we have discussed earlier, but it's now coming into fruition. And cumulatively, Aravind has about 130 acres of land. And with all the construction over, we'll probably be close to 60 million square foot dedicated for eye care.
6 million, Aravind, 6 million.
Sorry, 6 million. Sorry, 60 lakhs. Yeah, 6 million. And I want to speak about Madurai, which I have not mentioned. So Madurai, as you all know, it was done the land was bought in 1976, and some other land was bought. Lyco came into existence. The IP facility came into existence in 2004, 2005, and the research facility in 2008. But today, as I said, the national accreditation has become very stringent. The fire authorities need certain regulatory approvals to give. So all of that, and then the hospital is outgrown. For the size of the building that the hospital is, the Madurai is the largest service delivery organization. Like last week on a Saturday, they had seen about little more than 4,200 outpatients a day. So that's the kind of volume. And today people come in cars. The biggest problem is parking. Even in Chennai, we still have 30% more space for outpatient expansion, but we don't have space to park cars. I think that's a sign of the economy changing, the per capita income growing. So we have to think of all that in a newer facility. So the newer Madurai facility will be a little more than 1 million square foot, would have 1,000 cars parking facility. It will have a double basement. So all that thinking is going on in Madurai. It will be by far the largest infrastructure that we are building. So we have got the planning done. We hope to get all the approvals starting next month, July 1st. Hopefully, we'll have a groundbreaking sometime. This is a special project for us in the 50th year. As part of the celebration, Tanjavur happened, Salem will happen. Aurolab is having a new facility, FDA to be approved facility for eye drops. And all of that will happen in this year that we celebrate the 50th, reaching the 50th year milestone. So all of us are eagerly expecting the Madurai facility to come up. The other significant step in this journey is the Go Green initiatives. I think the world had also moved. When we were in San Francisco, when we were talking about the project developing, many people came and spoke to us about what they were thinking in the hospitals. So kind of people are thinking about all these elements and more. Sustainable construction, better power management, water management, and bringing green belt. And Aravind, in its own ways, worked on all these elements to reduce energy and water, recycle wastewater, reuse recycled water, and renewable energy and wind and solar. Even today, it's about 75% of our power comes from renewable sources. We have our own rooftop, which I'll mention about it. Aravind consumes about 1 million units of electricity per month and 2 million liters of water every day. So it's a significant resources that Aravind utilizes. Imagine 24,000 people coming in. These are just the patients and their family members and the staff. Today, Aravind staff is close to 8,000 employees, little more than 8,000 employees, including Oro Lab and all put together. So we're talking about 75,000 people coming into any one of the Aravind infrastructure, patients, their family, and we are not talking about surgery numbers. Surgery numbers are about 4,000, not 4,000, about 3,000 every day. And then they will have another 3,000 or 4,000 people accompanying them. So 75, 80,000 people in all Aravinds is a normal day, feeding all of them, providing all amenities to all of them. So Aravind has to work a lot on its logistics to ensure that every person who comes in is served appropriately and in the most efficient way possible. So again, lighting, we've all shifted to LED lamps, the DC fans, so energy efficient HVAC, heating, ventilation, air condition, everything related to that, better chillers, better air conditioner, more efficient, and better geysers for morning, energy efficient pumps, automatic controllers. So all of this enables us to conserve power. And also rooftop in solar, it's now close to a little more than 2.3 megawatts of solar rooftop power. And as you can see, this is Pondicherry. Pondicherry by far has the largest rooftop, 540 kilowatts in all of Aravind, and Oralab has a larger rooftop power. But Aravind is also planning to go to a 10 megawatt captive power solar facility. So as part of the 50th year, that is a project that we have been thinking about. We have had preliminary discussions. Hopefully, that will be executed in this year as well. So with that facility coming up, Aravind will have its 100% power from the solar sources during the workday. In the daytime, as you know, solar can only feed during when the sun is out. So, but it will cover close to 80% of our power needs, because our functioning time was also, we started around 7:30 a.m. to go till about 5, 6 a.m. So that's when we consume 75 to 80% of our power. So there'll be a significant addition to the economy and the society to make it green. And again, water, as I said, Pondicherry is the one. This is a German-based technology. It's a natural technology, and it's called decentralized wastewater management. And started in Pondicherry, then Chennai and Tirunelveli, Koilpatti, Tirupati, Tanjore, now in Salem. Oralab has it. And about 80% of the water is recycled and used for toilet flushing, gardening, air conditioner, cooling towers. So it's very useful, right? And we have a zero discharge. The government is also forcing the zero discharge. For whatever you use on a daily basis, you should be able to use that water within your facility, is what they say for larger projects. Again, a green belt. This is a banyan tree that was planted in Chennai during the inauguration of. You can also see Mr. R.V. Duraiswamy in that picture. Dr. Balakrishnan is there in that picture, apart from all the other members or senior members of the organization. And all the greenery credit goes to Dr. Nachiyar. I mean, she so far has been developing all the greenery, the Krishnas in each of the hospital and all the statues. All of this were her contribution, and she would come, like when Chennai came, she would come every month to ensure that all these aspects are taken care of. And she had just recently told Dr. Karthik and Divya that give me some time, from July, I'll come to Tanjore to get all your garden going. So, okay, I thought I'd missed up Madurai. So this is Madurai, about 1.2 million square foot. Again, as I said, most of the groundwork has been done. So this will be a facility that can handle about 5,500 to 6,000 patients a day, and can perform about close to 600 to 700 surgeries a day. And so again, nurses, about 1,000 nurses can stay. So this will be a very for Madurai, where the whole journey started. This will be a beautiful facility to make that impact for the community that has supported us for the past 50 years without that, the community of Madurai and the people around Madurai, the whole journey wouldn't have started. So I think it is our responsibility to bring the best to that to the community that has stood behind Aravind from day one. Not only Aravind, Dr. V started his practice there. Dr. Nachir and Dr. Nam studied there in Madurai Medical College. So Madurai has been a vibrant contributor to whatever has happened, and the inspiration of Meenakshi Temple that stimulated Dr. V to have that grand vision of building the institution. So this is a team. It's a team that works with me very closely, and all the team members have been put in the were identified by my father. All of them are there, and my role was to just hold on to them and ensure that we still continue to work as a team. And it's 5 years, 4 years since my, no, actually not 5, yeah, 4 years since my father passed away, and I'm sure he's still guiding us, and the team is so loyal to him. So that's how these projects are getting executed as of now. A proud past, an active present, and an ambitious future. The journey of our institution is still unfolding. All of you have been part of this journey. In many ways, you have contributed at an intellectual level, at a spiritual level, at an institutional level. So you all know this journey. I'm just reiterating what you all know. But as I said, without Dr. V, nothing would have been possible. But without you all, it wouldn't have reached the stage it is. As Dr. V always says, much has been done, much remains to be done. I'm sure the next 50 is going to be great as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Aravind. That was truly impressive.
Thank you.
So does anyone have any questions for Dr. Aravind? So can I ask a question about, so Madurai, when will the new facility in Madurai be operational, do you think?
It'll take about 30, the day we break the ground. I'm not sure. No, with all the approvals, we are not sure. Hopefully by end of this year, but it'll take about 30 months, as being a large facility. And it's also in a very tight space, to bring materials and all that. So we definitely 30 to 30. Yeah, it'll take about 3 years is what I would think. We'll try to push it, but 30 months is a target that we are keeping internally. Let's hope for the best. Yeah.
That still seems impressive, because it's going to be such a large facility.
I wanted to put in a plug for the fantastic short videos, Donna, that you shared that would help us see kind of live the images that Dr. Aravind was describing of Coimbatore and several other newly enlarged institutions. Just remarkable. Those videos that Donna linked us to are only 2 to 4 minutes long, so very impactful.
Thank you.
It's mind-blowing, actually.